Alright, this is Mrs. Clark. Welcome to my video about right triangle trigonometry. We're looking at the different parts of the right triangle in relation to a specific angle. So it says here it's all about perspective. Where's theta? So theta is a variable that we use to represent a missing angle. So some unknown angle is represented by theta, and theta is a Greek letter. So this here. Theta, I'm going to write down a little note here. It is the variable used for an unknown angle. Alright, so the variable used for an unknown angle. Now, depending on where in the triangle theta is, depends on how we label the sides. So the sides are labeled in relationship to where the angle is. And so this little symbol here you see for theta, this is how I draw it. I'm going to put it in this acute angle here. I just do a circle, and then it gets like a curly Q at the top, kind of like this. So if I put theta here, obviously this is a right angle, this is another acute angle. But if I put theta here, this is the angle that I'm talking about. So when I label the sides, it's with the perspective of this angle. So it's all in relation to this. There's a couple things, though, that we need to remember about a right triangle. When I have my 90-degree angle, the side opposite the 90-degree angle is always the hypotenuse, so that hasn't changed. This is still the hypotenuse. But the other two sides we label in relation to the theta. So if I go opposite the theta, that's this side over here, so we call this the opposite side. So it's, what is it opposite of? It's opposite the theta. And then I go immediately to next to this theta. Well, one side next to is the hypotenuse, but that's already got a label. So the other side next to, which is this side here, we call the adjacent side. So we've learned the word adjacent before when we were talking about angles. Now we're talking about the adjacent side, which is the side next to theta. So we're going to define both of these terms down below here, but here's how it looks in the triangle. So if I move down here, I'm going to actually write out a quick little phrase for opposite here. So opposite is the leg, since they are right triangles, the leg that is across from the theta. So our opposite side is the leg that is across from the theta. So in this situation, this is my opposite. I'm going to just give this a quick highlight. Opposite the theta means going across this way. So that's this side. Then we have the adjacent side. We're going to write that one here at the bottom when we have room. So adjacent is the leg that's next to theta. The leg that is next to theta. So again, this is a leg. So opposite and adjacent refer to the legs because the hypotenuse has its own name already. So the leg that is next to theta. So I'm going to highlight this one in a different color. adjacent. And when I go back up to my triangle up here, my adjacent is the one that's next to right here. So it's this side. Okay. We look at the second triangle, because notice I put another triangle at the bottom here. I'm going to put theta in a different spot, and we're going to label our triangle based on that spot. So if I put theta in the other acute angle, so I'm going to put it down here, now I want to label my sides in reference to that angle. So opposite the right angle is always the hypotenuse. That doesn't change no matter where I put theta. But next to theta is going to be our adjacent side. And opposite the theta over here is going to be our opposite side. So notice in relation to the top one, let me see if I can zoom out here a little. So looking at both at the same time, we can see that I labeled opposite in a different place when I moved theta. Now it's this side. And when I moved theta down here, adjacent now becomes this side. So when I label them, it's in reference to where the theta is, not just always on a specific side. The hypotenuse is always going to be on a specific side, always the one opposite the right angle, but I've got to look opposite the theta for my opposite side and next to the theta for my adjacent side. And so we're going to practice labeling that, labeling those sides based on the marked angle so that we get the hang of this first. And then we're going to look at the actual trig function. So that'll be the next thing that we do. So this is going to get glued into your notebook. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to our practice worksheet. All right, so we're going to practice labeling the sides of the triangles below using O for opposite, A for adjacent, and H for hypotenuse. And it's all going to be in reference to the angle that's marked, this little curved angle we have here. So if I just do the first one with you, if this is our theta, I'm going to actually put a theta in here. We want to mark where's the opposite, where's the adjacent, where's the hypotenuse. I usually start with the hypotenuse so I don't get confused. So going across here, here's my hypotenuse. And then from theta, opposite is going to be over here, so this will be my O. And then immediately next to it will be this one down here. So O and A are always on your legs. H is always on the hypotenuse. So go ahead and do that for the next 11 problems, and then check back quickly with this video to make sure you did it correctly. So go ahead and pause it now, and then check back. All right, here are the answers for the first 6, and then I will slide down and show you the next. Check them quickly, make sure you have your O, A, and your H in the correct spot. This is really important for the next thing we're about to do. All right, I'm sliding down to the last 6. There you go.